For starters, the whole purpose of Nog making this document is to debunk DCA for hacking several demons, as for his own words, he claims that he would never do such a thing. Another reason why Nog is making this document is because he takes demon grinding serious. He works for hours on end getting the skill base that he is at now, only for someone just to hack hard levels and claim it to be legit with no video evidence whatsoever. He is stubborn and will not admit to hacking at all, claiming that he has beaten them legit, yet when he is asked to play the level, he claims to have already forgotten the level.
This all began around the time when DCA was starting to beat insane to extreme demons. I'm not too familiar when it all started, but I remember what demon he has claimed to have beaten. His hardest before all this scandal was Stalemate by Nox, while his hardest prior was Jawbreaker by Zentic Alpha. Jumping from Jawbreaker to Stalemate isn't all that impressive. It's still kinda weird that he beat Jawbreaker a month prior to beating Stalemate. Nonetheless, it's still doable. He completed Jawbreaker on May 31st, while Stalemate took him about 3 weeks to beat it after Jawbreaker June 23rd. This information will come into use later. He then claims to beat Retention by Woogie, a level that is way harder than Stalemate by a lot, which isn't that impressive nor holds any shock value considering that Retention is an easy extreme demon. Keep in mind, DCA only has 60 demons after his completion of Crazy 2 by Dav JD, which he completed on June 12, 2021.
After Retention, DCA then claims to be Quantum Processing by Riot, which is a massive jump from Retention. Quantum Processing was 97 on the demon list at the time of the make. This was very, very suspicious considering that his hardest prior was Jawbreaker, Stalemate, and Retention. He claims to have beaten it within a month, yet it took him almost a month to jump from Jawbreaker to Stalemate, but jumping from Retention to Quantum is a little absurd. Nonetheless, he begins to boast about it to Vidivency about beating it and it being uploaded to the Pointer Crate servers, yet he has no completion video on the said level. This is a reoccurring thing with DCA. He also has 0 practice attempts on Quantum. Apparently he got 63 on Promethean, a top 10 extreme demon before beating Quantum Processing. This is very absurd because his hardest demon prior to beating Quantum was Retention, yet somehow fluked 31 to 63 on a top 10 demon. He also claimed that he was on the Pointer Crate list, which was immediately debunked by Vidivency. No, it takes 1 to 2 days to be put on the demon list and requires video proof, as many may already know that, which DCA claimed to be on the list immediately after he claimed to beat Quantum. Referring back to when I said it took him almost a month to beat Stalemate after Jawbreaker, he beats Retention in less than 2 weeks and then gets 63% on Promethean around the same week that he beats Quantum Processing. Vidivency debunked this by looking at Pointer Crate and found no completion or record set by DCA on the website. Now referring back to what I said in part 1. DCA last recorded visible record count on his demons were approximately 60 on the video of beating Crazy 2, which was uploaded 2 months ago. From 2 months ago, DCA recorded demon count to date as of today is 500 demons. While this is probably doable, this is very rare as you would have to devote a lot of your time into demon grinding. Let's just say that's not the case for DCA. He has only beaten 2 demons from August 3rd to August 4th. Nothing too suspicious, correct? The image shown on screen now was taken on August 6th. In 2 days, DCA had beaten over 70 demons in only 2 days. There is no need to be a mathematician, nor is it required to do complex math to understand that he has beaten over 70 demons in the span of 2 days. To show you how absurd this is, let me break it down. He has 9,000 stars, meaning that 5,000 of those were from demons, which means that 4,000 random stars came from other levels. If we take 74 demons and divide it by the days it took to beat the 74 demons, which would be 2, he would have to beat 37 demons for each day. As people that have played this game for a while and poured their heart and soul into it to complete such difficult levels and extreme demons, this is just blatantly obvious that he's hacking at this point. Let alone, on this very day, he also claims to have beaten Subsonic. These aren't just the only demons he's claimed to beaten. He's claimed to beaten Red World, Infernal Abyss, and many other demons that I don't care enough to count in this document, as they are not so absurd as the other ones he has progress on or has claimed to beaten. Another thing to take into consideration is how fast he gains stars. Let me look at some examples. Here's DCA a week ago, claiming he has to have 7k stars. The same week, he gets over 1k stars.
The highest rated stars are 10 stars or demon. This is only reasonable way to gain so many stars in such a short period of time, as for the other star ratings are below 10, obviously. 1000 star is 100 demons. So if we assume that DCA were to be beating demons constantly, that means he will have to be beating about 14 demons a day per week to have that amount of stars. Since this is the only possible way he could have gotten so many stars in such a short amount of time, we're gonna show you how absurd it is if it were anything besides 10 star demon. Since we already have done the math for demons, we're gonna make a list of how many demons or level it will take per day to get 1000 stars in the span of a week or less.
This is the list for how many levels you'd need to beat if there were any other star rating to get the same amount of stars as beating 14 demons a day to get 100 demons and 1k stars in a week or less. These are absurd amounts of numbers. I highly doubt anyone has the time to do so, except if you're hacking, that is. Obviously with hacks you can breeze through their way with these levels with things like instant complete and no clip. But dedicating your time to 14 demons a day and 100 a week is far too time consuming and probably wouldn't even be able to do in a week or less. It's far too blatant to overlook these facts. Let alone DCA constantly talks about how he beats extreme demons when his hardest 2 months prior from all of this was a medium demon. You'd have to be too oblivious if you even think that DCA doesn't hack, which I highly doubt anyone would. There has also been claims that DCA tends to forget the demons he's beaten and is admitted to using hitboxes beforehand to help him with levels. I'm Lowen being one of the witnesses. For a while, Nog confronted him and all he said was, "I did beat it," and runs off as a genuine completion.
Basically, the whole point of this is to show that he hacked, yet he tried to run it off as legit, but has zero recordings, zero progress video, zero anything. It doesn't take much for someone to just look at his stats and compare them to 3 days ago and see that he is indeed hacking star. Most of the people that helped me with this were also very skeptical about all of his completion. Supposedly, an individual who speaks to DCA says that he is beating all of this extreme demon because he wants to become better than Nog.
Well, this is just absolutely hilarious to us, as it is sad. Resorting to using hacks and blatant lying just to say that you're better than Nog instead of actually going through soul-crushing pain of beating extreme and very hard levels is just so detrimental to your image. You don't get better at the game by hacking levels and stats, nor does it make you look good. It just makes you look like a very bad player overall. Since you're hacking levels that you clearly can't beat, overall demon grinding to me is something that I put a ton of hours into, and just for someone to say that they're better just because they obviously hack and still lie and beating it legit is funny to me. There's a link in the description to the document that we use to collect our information, mainly written by Nog. Also, huge props to Nog for putting all the evidence together and showing all the reasoning and just being a huge detective on this case.